Our next topic is adding currency. So when we're adding currency, we're still going to have our decimal selector set to F for floating. That's the default setting. And the problem we're going to do is we're going to add $2.36 plus $5 plus $1.25 plus $3.49. Now, so we're introducing a new key, the decimal key. So you're going to use your ring finger for the decimal key. Other than that, this addition is just the same as before. So we're going to start with an asterisk to clear, 2.36 plus 5 plus. Now notice I entered 5 plus. I didn't enter 5.00. You could, but you do not have to. Therefore, I never do. Then we continue 1.25 plus 3.49 plus. We are done. So we hit asterisk to print the total on our tape, and you should get 12.10 or $12.10 on your tape. Next, we're going to learn about a function called the add function. So notice on your K.A switch, instead of the default middle setting, the dot, we're going to move it to the A. It's called the add mode. Now this is important. Using the add mode is optional. I'm not going to test you on this. You will have to know how to add currency. In other words, you will need to know how to add numbers with a decimal. So what is this add mode all about? Well, if you're ever adding or subtracting a series of numbers, and if they all have the same number of decimals, for example, the problem we just did, using the add mode eliminates the need for entering the decimal each time. So in other words, doing the problem above, 2.36 plus $5 plus $1.25 plus $3.49, using the add mode would save you 4 keystrokes. So I say 4 keystrokes because that's the number of decimals. So the add mode doesn't increase your efficiency by a tremendous amount, but if you're adding a long string of numbers with the same number of decimals, you might find this function to be handy. The most common use of the add mode is when you're adding dollar figures that include cents. This can save you a lot of time when adding really long lists of numbers. For example, if you were in the payroll department. So let's experiment with using the add mode. So we're going to add up these numbers, same as before, but to use it with the add mode, you have to tell the calculator how many decimals are in each number. You do that by setting your decimal selector to 2. Again, this tells your calculator that all of these numbers have 2 decimals. And the K.A switch should be set to the A. Now when you're done using the add mode, it's really critical that you set the K.A back to the middle. Otherwise your answers for other problems will be wrong, oftentimes. So now that we have the K.A set to the A and the decimal selector set to 2, we can use the add mode to add up these numbers. But this time we will not be entering the decimal. So here's a proper sequence, and it's a little bit odd at first. So we're going to clear as usual. And then, so instead of entering 2.36, we're going to leave out the decimal. So you have to enter it as 236 plus. And notice how the 5 has 2 decimals, so we enter that as 500 plus 125 plus 349 plus. Now we're done, so we hit asterisk to print the total on our tape, and you should still have the same answer as before, 12.10 on your tape. Again, the add mode, the only purpose of it is just to eliminate the need to enter the decimal. So then the question becomes, well, do I want to use the add mode or do I just want to add normally? To be frank, I never use the add mode. So I'm just showing this to you because you need to know about its availability in case it does help you on the job to make you more efficient. So what we're going to do here is we have the same problem twice. And on the left, we're going to use the add mode to select it. Excuse me, we're going to use the add mode to find the solution. So again, make sure your decimal selector is set to 2. Your K.A switch is set to A because we're going to use the add mode. And again, the add mode means we're not going to enter the decimal. So to start off, we're going to clear it. Since we're using the add mode, that means we're not entering the decimal. So enter it as 8613 plus 57 plus 4412 minus 5005 plus 1675 minus 2345 plus 3546 plus 2697 plus. We're done, so we hit asterisk to print the total on our tape, and you should get an answer of 161.76. Was that confusing to you? Don't worry about it. Then just don't use the add mode. So now on the right, we're going to add just like we normally do, which means we're going to set our settings back to normal. So this is important. Set your decimal selector back to F for floating. You could leave it on 2, but I prefer to leave it on F for floating. And this is also critical. The K.A needs to be set back to the dot. Now we're going to enter these numbers normally, which means we do enter the decimal point. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to clear it. 86.13 plus, remember, we're adding things normally, so we're going to enter the decimal. 0.57 plus, technically you could enter that as 0.57 plus. 44.12 minus 50.05 plus 16.75 minus 23.45 plus 35.46 plus 26.97 plus. We're done, so we hit asterisk to print the total on our tape, and you should get the same answer as on the left, 161.76. So the option is up to you. If you want to use the add mode, you have to remember to set the settings to the proper settings, and then you have to remember when you're done at using the add mode, you need to set them back to the default setting. The majority of students, and including me, prefer this method on the right, which is not using the add mode. But the choice is yours. I will not test you on the add mode. But you will be tested on how to add numbers with decimals, so you need to use one method or the other. So, final summary for the add mode. It's optional and is only used to marginally increase your speed when adding numbers that all have the same number of decimals. The add mode selector merely makes it faster to add these long lists of numbers with the same number of decimals by removing the need to enter each decimal. That's the only purpose of the add mode. And when the add mode selector is not used, each decimal will need to be entered. And this is the method that most people prefer, including me. So, at this point in the class, students often think they always need to use the add mode. That's not true. Remember, it's optional, and most people choose not to use it, and they choose to enter the decimal instead. So we're going to make sure that add mode is turned off, and we're going to add these numbers normally by entering the decimal. So make sure that your settings are back to normal. K.A is set to dot. Decimal selector is set to F. Technically it could be on 2, but we're going to go with F because that's our default. And we're going to add the same numbers as before. So here's how we're going to do it. Proper sequence, we're going to asterisk to clear, 2.36 plus 5 plus, or 5.00 plus, but why enter the zeros if you don't have to, 1.25 plus 3.49 plus asterisk to print the total on your tape, and you should get an answer of 12.10. So again, that's the add mode. Use it if you like, or choose to not use it. It's up to you.